What's up, everybody? This is Nick here of the GamerAccess.com here with another episode of the SpoilerCast. And this SpoilerCast is on Madden NFL 15. I know there's really no spoilers, but essentially
What are you talking about? The in-depth plot of football.
But essentially what this SpoilerCast is when we talk about a game in depth. Yes, we can post a review, and our review of Madden has already gone live, written by Bronson, who's joining me on the show. But this gives us an opportunity to discuss. It's more than one person's opinion. We really go in depth, a couple things that weren't covered in the review. So yeah, we're talking about Madden NFL 15. This is releasing the day before Madden NFL 15 comes out. Both Bronson and I have had the game for about a week now. So we've definitely had plenty of time to get our hands on with the game. And what are your initial impressions, Bronson?
I was very impressed. I shocked almost. I have played every Madden, since the 2K, since they ruined everything, basically. And I love the new, just it feels just more realistic in every way. Animations are better. It looks better. I like the fact that there's pre-game and post-game. Everything just feels heavier and sounds heavier. Like, I remember first game I played, it was against the Texans, and they threw a pass over the middle, and Nate Irving just cracks the receiver, and you can just hear it. The offensive line, just... Also, everyone is smarter, I find. Like, you don't have as many, like, derp moments where it's like, why didn't he see that or catch that? Or, it just, that's my biggest thing, is the AI just seems a lot smarter. Like, the offensive line actually works in a way an offensive line actually works. Like going to second level, double teaming at the right time, pulling at the right depth, Like, that's what I was most impressed by, was the AI.
Yeah, the game, it's definitely the biggest jump in Madden for a very long time. An extremely long time. Like, Madden NFL 25 came out, and for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, yes, I wasn't expecting anything huge because technically they didn't have that much time to work on it for the new consoles, and it's their first game on the new consoles. But then you look at their competitors, yes, they're the only ones creating a football game, but look at 2K. Their first basketball game looked unfreaking believable.
Also, they might as well be the only ones making a basketball game.
Well, yeah, NBA Live's a joke. It's such a joke. No one bought Live. Or if you did, you're an idiot. Why would you buy Live over 2K? It's here's the thing. It's one of those things where it used to be with, Live and 2K, they used to be kind of debatable on which one was better. You could debate it. And some people thought Live was better for this reason. Some people thought 2K was better for this reason. This past year, there's no debating. There's not a single... There can't be a single person that can tell me Live is better than 2K. There's no way. In every comparison, 2K blows it out the water. But anyways, going back, Madden NFL 25, for example, it's their 25th Madden game. You're thinking, oh, it's going to be amazing. And no, it was a disappointment. And yes, I even gave them the benefit of the doubt. Well, this is the very first game to come out on the new generation of consoles, even though 2K, their very first with basketball, looked unbelievable. And EA finally learned the new consoles, and Madden NFL 15 looks amazing. It looks really good. I remember, and this was mentioned on Scripted Access, when EA released their very first screenshot, and it was Colin Kaepernick, because Madden NFL 25... what a lot of people made fun of is that, okay, you play as Colin Kaepernick, and the guy is just tatted up and down, but in the game, he has no tattoos. And for some players, that's fine. If it's an offensive lineman or a linebacker even, that may not be something that bothers you too much, but when it's someone such as the quarterback, where you take control of the quarterback every single offensive play, and it's a quarterback as big as Colin Kaepernick, that's kind of important. So they released a screenshot showing Colin Kaepernick and the tattoos. And now, when I first saw the screenshot, I remember on Unscripted Access, I was like, bullshit. EA is fucking bullshit. And there's no way the game looks that good.
But it almost does, right? That's the just amazing part.
That was the thing. So the very first time I got to see the game is when we were at E3.
That's when I got to see it.
Yeah, very first appointment was with EA, so I'm like, I gotta check out Madden. They're bullshitting about Colin Kaepernick. There's no way. So I go to play Madden, I'm like, wow. Like, before I even played it, I saw the game, I'm like, wow, that's Madden? Like, that's, there's guys playing that right now, right? Like, it looked so good. Like, thoroughly impressed. Like, it takes me back to when I, like, first started. I wasn't even, like, a dedicated, strong gamer at the time. But my very first console that was bought for me was the PlayStation 2. And I remember I got the PlayStation 2 the Christmas it came out, and one of the games I got was Madden 2001 with Eddie George on it. I'll never forget. And that was like, wow. Like, at the time, Madden 2001, like, on the PlayStation 2 looked unbelievable. Because it's like you're coming from the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 2, and it's like full 3D modeling and just everything. You're like, holy crap, this looks so real. And it's like, I haven't had that experience. Like, even when it went from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3, I never really had that jaw-dropping experience. Now, yes, eventually it moved its way up in visuals, and now if you look at Madden NFL 25, for example, on PlayStation 3, and you look at the latest Madden on PlayStation 2, yes, there's a huge jump. But over a year's time, I've never been like jaw-droppingly impressed by Madden until now.
I would say this is the second most impressive jump for me on a year-to-year basis, and the most impressive was going from like Madden on the N64 and the PS1 to ESPN 2K on the Dreamcast. You know, and then now this. I really, just like you can see every little individual blade of grass. You know, players who have tattoos have those tattoos. Players who have specific gear are wearing that specific gear. It's just really impressive. You know, and same thing goes with like little details, like you're playing in the snow and there's footprints in the snow, and I really like all that little detail when it comes to those things, because for a simulation game that kind of stuff matters. You know, like, yeah, if this was NFL Blitz, we wouldn't give a shit, like, straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, just visually, it's the biggest jump in Madden. Like I said, since I played Madden 2001 on the PlayStation 2, like, it just looks unbelievable. Not even just with the players, the coaches. Like, the coaches look so much more realistic.
I remember we were doing the Failure Bowl between Bremen and Torrey for 60-minute access. And, like, Torrey's like, oh, who's that guy? And it's like, well, that's the coach of the Bengals. No, I actually have a really funny story from the franchise mode. So my franchise mode, I'm playing on All-Pro, and I went 15-0. Peyton Manning is having another record-breaking season. Everything's going great. And in that last game, which we won, Peyton Manning is out for the rest of the season. Going to the playoffs, Brock Osweiler's doing all right. I'm running the ball way more, though. Because obvious reasons. And then Brock Osweiler gets hurt. In the AFC Championship game. We go into the Super Bowl, and I was like, okay, who's a quarterback who's halfway decent that I can trade for? And I traded a 4th round draft pick.
Wait, did you have the trade deadline off or something?
Yeah, I had trade deadline off. I was like, okay, who's someone I can trade for? And I traded a 4th round draft pick for Michael Vick. And
Michael Vick in a Broncos jersey.
So Michael Vick and Monte Ball won us a Super Bowl. And by won us a Super Bowl, kept us in the game long enough for the defense to just the defense kept us in the game, and they ran the clock out, basically. No, that was hilarious. I've only played 3 online games, most of which were blowouts. One of them was a blowout, 2 of them were tight games. And I beat this Raider guy 21-17, and one of my 3 touchdowns was a 70-yard interception return. I don't know.
Yeah, I've played 2 games online myself. I played one that I won and then one that I lost pretty badly. It was just one of those games where nothing's going right for you, so you just kind of give up. It's like the time I played you. It's like halftime, the game's close, and then after halftime, just shit hits the wall, and you're just like, I don't give a fuck anymore. So it's like technically, yeah, they could have only beat you by 10, but instead they end up beating you by like 24 because you start doing stupid shit and not caring anymore. But one thing I've noticed with online, and now part of this may be because the people who have the game early are most likely people who are in the media, whether it's IGN or it's a bigger website, is both games I played were fantastically smooth. I did not have any hiccups at all. And usually people in the media are there. Of course, they're going to have better internet than maybe your general consumer. But the gameplay was very smooth. Something I've noticed, which thank God they did this, because this is my number one complaint against Madden Online, is yeah, the game can be choppy and that sucks. But where that really hurts you is when you're trying to kick the ball. So what I've noticed that Madden does is sometimes when you go to kick a field goal or punt it or just kicking in general, you'll see that it takes a little bit longer to load the kicking than usual. So what it seems like EA is doing is when there is any type of network interference or anything like that, rather than kicking you into kicking the ball and the internet messing up and you completely just kicking terribly, what it must be doing is loading all the assets, loading everything that it can load, and then once the internet's back to stable again, it kicks you back into kicking. So that's a great improvement that I've noticed. I don't know if you've noticed that, Bronson, but
I haven't had any laggy games. Like all three of them ran really well. I know this one guy.
We'll have to see what happens once the game becomes available to the public. And you have some people with some subpar connections because Madden is peer-to-peer, so your gameplay experience does depend on who you're playing's internet connection. If you're playing with someone who has a great internet connection, you have a great internet connection, you're going to have no problem at all. It's those people that are running pretty much a step above dial-up, and you're going to have quite a few issues. But yeah, online I was pleasantly surprised with how well it ran, because that's one thing Madden has been terrible at in the past is its stability of online.
Yeah, like I really hope it doesn't turn into previous Maddens. Where I would have just these games on the PS3 versions where it's just, or on the Xbox 360 where it's just this laggy, horrible nightmare. Versus now, which the three games I played all went on really smoothly. I played three really really close, or three games that ran really smooth and looked really good, and it was almost like playing on the couch. That's that. I was impressed with that. And then there was the yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
What we'll talk about now is something that Bronson did not include in his review, but we'll talk about it now, is with the whole play calling. So,
oh yes, Madden, I realized that the fact that they broke it down into they're more in depth with it, and they also have the whole option of simple versus more complicated.
Yeah, but not just that. What I think is cool is they have, what pretty much they do is they take in what's happening for players around the world, and they bring those statistics in. They'll tell you, like, this play works 90% of the time against this type of defense, or on average at this place on the field at this time, that community averages the offense gains 4 yards, and then if you allow them to gain more than that, it shows how many yards they gained in red, or if you stop them to less than that, it shows it in green, which is pretty cool. And it's just little statistics that are pulled live, which is really cool. But what I think is huge, and it's a very minor addition, but I think it's very huge, is chew clock. So essentially what chew clock is when you go to select your play, let's say that you're up by a touchdown, for example, you're on your final drive, and there's only 2 minutes left in the game. Obviously, if you're playing smart, you're going to try to run the clock out. Well, with previous Maddens, you'd pick your player or whatever, and you would sit there for like 15, 20 seconds as you would wait for the play clock to go down. Well, what's new in Madden NFL 15 is chew clock, where essentially when you're choosing your play, you can change your play type to chew clock, and what that does is it will put you into play with 10 seconds left on the play clock. So it will go ahead and accelerate everything until it's 10 seconds, which I have found to be very useful because I'm playing through an offline career right now, and I'm actually playing I think I'm on game 15 now, week 15, I should say. And I've used it several times. It's like I'm winning, and I no longer just have to sit there and wait for the play clock to come down. I just select chew clock, and it takes you straight to 10 seconds. And at that point, you actually got to kind of rush a little bit because 10 seconds seems like plenty of time. But when I say 10 seconds, I mean your players hit the field with 10 seconds left, so your players are getting ready or whatever. So I think it's perfect. A minor addition like that makes the game so much more enjoyable for me.
Exactly. So. I know. I talked about this earlier. Is the offensive line play. One of the things that's just bothered me forever about Madden is like they wouldn't get pulling depth right, or they wouldn't do down blocks correctly, or they just the blocking AI was really bad. But with some few exceptions, it's been great. Like I can actually run trap plays now. You know, like before, like I would play Madden and it was just like, okay, well, half my running playbook is useless because trap doesn't work in this game. But no, now it does. And same with the pass blocking AI. Like you know they make a pocket and adjust it so you can like kind of sneak out and run, or like I really like that. I also like it how the throw on the run rating for quarterbacks actually matters. So, like, I was playing with Colin Kaepernick as the 49ers against Ray, and I run out of the pocket, I'm rolling right, and I just bullet pass it, and it's accurate because it's Colin Kaepernick. He can throw on the run. And Manning, he can't really run that fast, but he can throw on the run pretty well. Like, and versus a guy like Tom Brady, who you've seen him throw on the run, it's usually a duck. Like, I really like how that rating matters now. It's not just like, oh, this is a thing. This is just here. We say this is a thing, but it's really not. I thought that was really neat. I would say that I wish they would have had a couple more modes. That would have been nice. The menus are still terrible.
Oh God,
they're laggy. They are laggy and ugly.
I do not get this. So first of all, it shouldn't have been a problem on the PlayStation 3, but in Xbox 360. But now we're on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, the new generation of consoles with this newer hardware, and the interface is still laggy. Even when selecting plays, I've noticed when going to different formations, it's so laggy and there's so many hiccups, and I'm just like, there's no excuse for this. There really isn't. Like, we've got these powerful consoles. Like, I don't like, here's the thing. Like, for people who don't know, my full-time job that pays the bills is I'm a senior producer for an app company, and we develop apps for iPhone, and we do some for Android. And from my experience, now obviously I don't do coding because I'm a producer. I manage a team of developers. And from my experience, it's just like, there's honestly no excuse for this. It's just completely bad coding. There's no excuse. There's no, oh, we're limited by the heart. No. It's terrible coding because it's something so simple that these consoles can really eat for breakfast without a problem.
It's a fucking
But for some reason, Madden is still having problems. Like, that they don't. It's so frustrating because you're operating the menu, and I don't care if it's not attractive, fine. Because at the end of the day, I'm wanting to play the game. I don't care. But the fact that it's laggy, and when you're selecting plays, and like I'm selecting the wrong play sometimes because it's so laggy, is unbelievably frustrating. And they just need to, for the next Madden, they just need to completely scrap the code, press the delete button, delete everything related to the menu and the play calling, and completely start from scratch, because it's clear that they're just taking the code and overlaying it into every year of Madden, and it shows, and it sucks.
I mean, not only that, but it even, like you said, it's in the play calling. It's also in the audibles. Like, I will, I'll do an audible, and it's like, okay, why didn't it go? Go again. And, the clock is running down. I need it to go. I need it to count down, like, I need to audible now, versus later because I see that, oh, okay, they're sending, they're doing a zone coverage. Well, I need to flood that zone, and but like I can't because the clock's running down, and I don't know, man. It's really irritating, especially because it's something that shouldn't be that hard. Like it's not. It's just not something that should be that difficult. Audibles, play calling, and menus.
It's just they have the answer is they have shitty coding, and rather than removing it and redoing it, they just simply push it on to the next version. They just need to. There's no trying to fix it. Like one thing I've learned in my job is sometimes with code you just can't fix it. It'll take you more time to fix it than just start from scratch. So they just need to completely remove it, recode the entire thing. It's not something that would take them too long. They have an entire year to make Madden. They've already got the graphics looking really good. So yeah, they probably spent a lot of time on refining the engine and animations and the physics and all that. So it's like there's no excuse why it should have been in this version, but let alone next version. Next version, it better be super fast with no freaking issues because they have plenty of time to fix it. And I'm sorry, it does not take long to code a play calling system. It just doesn't. So
yeah, that's been annoying. So there are some couple of things in franchise mode that I wish were fixed. Commentary's still horrible.
Oh, commentary is bad, yeah.
I mean, like, it's just that was the number one thing where I was like, okay, these menus are laggy, but it's not the worst thing in the world. But then I sit down and I listen to that commentary and I'm like, I would rather just put on my headphones and listen to music.
Oh, that's what I do with Madden. I'd say 90% of the time with Madden, I don't even have them. I turn my TV down and I'll listen to a podcast or I'll listen to music. I'll do something else because the commentary is so freaking bad.
Yeah, like I will.
Sometimes they say stuff that's completely irrelevant. Just completely irrelevant. Just to give you an example, so I was playing this one game in the franchise mode, and I was winning. I was up by like 14 points, and at the end of the game, I had the ball. There was like 20 seconds left in the game, and yeah, I could have just needed the ball, and the game would have been over. But it's like I tried to do these crazy plays or whatever, and I failed. So then the game ended, and it completely messed up, and it's a bug because what happened was I can tell, and this is where my job really comes handy because yes, I don't develop games for the PS4 and Xbox One, but I have enough background on coding to know how this stuff works. So essentially, they have it coded where if the game ends on an offensive play that is not successful, they kick into the commentary saying whatever team has the offense lost the game. Because technically I won the game, but the commentary came in and made it seem like my team lost.
No. I have a great one for this. It made me laugh so hard. And so we did 60-minute access, and I beat Ray with a score of, what was it? I want to say it was something like 52-9, and he gets set on offense in the fourth quarter. And it's like, all right, the 49ers or the Broncos have a great offense all game long. I'm like, they've scored 9 points. They have been picked off 3 times. I'm just like, no, they have not not at all. Like this is a lie. Why did you lie? Like that's what I'm thinking here.
It's so bad.
Yeah, like it's disgustingly bad. Like that's, I'm not like, oh man, this is disgustingly awful, but this was disgustingly awful. Yeah, like and the thing is, like, I go back and I play 2K5 on occasion, or even All Pro Football 2K8, and I'm like, these are fake commentators. These were 2 just voice actors. And they did a way, way better job than the professional broadcasters that EA brought in.
Well, it's not the broadcaster's fault. EA's just telling the broadcasters what to say, and then they bring them in and they have them read these lines, and then they leave. It's not their fault.
Yeah, but like even then, Phil Simms and I believe it's Jim Nance, just they come off as bored. like with everything. Like I will get, I had an 84-yard touchdown run today with Adrian Peterson, and it's just like it's like Adrian Peterson long run touchdown. Like if that was 2K5 or 2K8, it's like they'd be flipping out. Hell, if it was even Gus Johnson from a couple years ago, he'd be flipping out. But instead, it's just this blah 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 football.
Right.
And it's really disappointing. But we obviously can't say that much about for a spoiler cast for a football sim. So I mean, as a whole, I really enjoyed it. It looks great. It's probably one of the most realistic football sims I've ever played. I'm looking forward to beating John. When that rolls around, him and his punk ass Chargers. So yeah, I think they did a great job. It's a good first step for the next generation. I hope that they continue to make improvements like this. Yeah, I'm impressed. Good on you, EA.
One other thing that I really like about the game is how if you want to go into let's go into this no huddles. So no huddles in the game. Now they still bring up the plays, which I like. Like before, you go into no huddle and all you can do is audible. But now when you go into no huddle, you still have a chance to select your play, which I like.
And when you audible, you can change formations now too. Yes. Granted, it's not always the best idea to do that because it's like, oh, I'm in 5 wide. Let's audible to an I formation and have a wide receiver play fullback.
Right.
Like it's still a nice change to have where it's like, okay, Virgil Green can play fullback or tight end, so I can audible to a double tight to an I and still run. Like that stuff like that's really nice.
Yeah, I also like the ability where you can you hold in PlayStation you hold triangle to go into a no huddle.
That's a Y button for all you people on Xbox like me.
Yeah, if you hold circle though, it goes into a spike, which I like. That's one thing I've always hated about Madden is how you have to if you want to spike the ball, it's such a pain in the ass. Like you had to go run up, audible into a spike. It was just a pain in the ass. So now I really like that with Madden as well. But yeah, we've talked about the game extensively. Let's go ahead and end it off with what we'd like to see in the next Madden. For me, the visuals look amazing. So yes, small improvements here and there are always a good thing. I mean, visuals are always the first thing you see. So improved visuals always catch the eye. But a couple things for me. Obviously, as we discussed, the commentary sucks. So I'd like for them to completely redo the commentary. The menus and play calling, I like them to completely recode that as well, because it sucks. But then for me, what I think would be really awesome is with weather. So I've played in all weather circumstances, in the rain and the snow in Madden, and it looks good. Don't get me wrong, like the footsteps in the snow look really good. But I would like to see them take it to a next level. So what do you mean by next level? So say, for example, the snow. So with the snow, when they go to like the sidelines, you like see the coaches or the players on the sidelines and such. It's snowing, yet somehow none of these guys have any like snow hitting them. It's like same with the players. It's like this rain and snow that's falling from the sky seems to somehow dodge every player on the field. Like realistically, if it's that cold and you have football players and the coaches stand on the sidelines, you should see little snowflakes collect on their hat or on their jerseys. The rain, you should see the rain like bouncing off the helmets. Like we're in the new generation of consoles, and people may be like, "Well, that's so detailed." I'm like, "Yeah, but this is the new generation of consoles. That's like kind of what I expect."
I think that's what we're gonna see a couple years down the line. Like it's very much like how you play Madden 2001 and then you look at 05. Like you definitely see a big difference. I think that's gonna be the same. I think that's gonna be the same style of same style. I think it's gonna be very much that. At first, yeah, this looks really good, but 4 years from now, the way we look at Madden 07 compared to like even Madden 10 or Madden 13, it's a huge difference. And Yeah, that will be nice when we see that, because I mean it's possible. Because you look at a game like Batman, like we saw that in that Batman trailer, or even a game like Infamous Second
Yeah,
Son. They have those details.
oh yeah, look at Watch Dogs. I just recently beat Watch Dogs, and I think that game, a lot of people don't like it. I actually really like the game. Visually, it's definitely not impressive, but the one thing that is impressive in that game is one's the smoke. The smoke in that game looks really good. And two is the rain. The rain in that game looks really good. Now, Infamous looks unbelievable with rain too. With Watch Dogs, it's probably just the fact that the rest of the game didn't look that good, so the rain actually looking good stood out more.
Watch Dogs does not look very good at all.
Yeah, it doesn't. But in Infamous, yes, the rain looks amazing. Like you see every single drop hit the ground and little puddles, and yeah, so it's like it's definitely possible. So I want to see that with Madden. I want to see weather effects really come to life. Like Drive Club, for example. Look at Drive Club. Look what they're doing with the weather in that game. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah,
and people are like, oh, well, that's a racing game. Well, yeah, it's a football game. Football, I'd love to see all these details come in with the weather. Like, make the game really come to life. So, yeah, and then I guess I would like to see something innovative as far as a gameplay mode. Like, yes, it's football. You can't really strain too far from football, but I just feel like there's something they can do, some type of innovative football. Like, I don't know, maybe something similar to like what game was it? What game? There was a game where
story mode. Like, are we talking about
yeah, it was ESPN where yeah, it's like you create a player and you go through like the whole process of like the signing and like
no, that was
like
Madden. That was Superstar mode. They had that for the longest time.
Oh, that was Matt? Are you sure? Or, no, I thought
No,
it was ESPN
yeah, no.
where remember the part where you're like you can buy you like bought a house and like
Oh, the crib in ESPN. God, that was dumb as hell.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I remember that. They're like, Carmen Electra would call me. It's like, yo, you want to play football? Talking
well,
shit.
no, yeah, dude, yeah, it was executed terribly, but I think something like that
I don't
could
know. It
be
was
really.
pretty funny. I thought it was pretty funny when Steve-O called me and wanted to play football. That was pretty great.
It was executed terribly, but I would like to see like something cool like that, like actually make me feel because like when you like star as your player in this, like you can select the play as a single player in this game.
I never do. I always choose coach.
Yeah, so do I. I select coach as well, which that's the thing that really is confusing. Is for people that are used to, and this happened a few years ago when they went to this whole like online offline career mode, franchise mode, whatever they call it, connected franchise, I think is what they call it. Is for people who like just playing the standard franchise mode, they make it really confusing because when I think of coach, it makes me think like I'm gonna be coaching the team, not playing as the team. Which coach, when you say coach, that goes into the traditional franchise mode. So I think that's kind of confusing. But
yeah, like I did owner, and you can do the same thing from owner mode. And yeah, that owner mode is like, whoa, this is way too much to handle. Yeah, as far as what I'd like to see is definitely commentary for sure. That's definitely a thing that needs improvement, drastic improvement. I would like to see better, like the halftime show, pregame show, and postgame show. It's cool that they exist now, but I want better ones. So that's a thing. And I'm trying to think what else I'd want. Dedicated servers for online. This no
yes,
dedicated.
that would be nice.
Yeah, so I mean, that like I'm fine playing with these people who have good connections, but these ones who don't, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, do we have anything else that we want to talk about from
Just
Madden?
one last thing we didn't really talk about. Well, we kind of talked about it briefly. Is the defense of the game so much better? It
is.
It's so much more entertaining to play. Like you have the opportunity to play in the view of the defender, which I really, really like. I wasn't like
even that big on that. I just like how when you play line, it's not just automatic. Like you actually like it prompts you. Okay, X A X. Pick a direction.
Yeah, I do like that.
I thought that was cool. I thought jumping snaps was cool. I really enjoyed that. And it's actually made like defensive games more fun. Like I played a 21-17 game against this Raider guy earlier today, and I mean, that was so close. Like that was a defensive game pretty much, because we both had a touchdown that came off defense, and we both had like two or three picks. Um, yeah, like that was a lot of fun. I wish defensive backs would actually catch half the stuff they pick off.
Yeah, that's something that I'll discuss. So with Madden NFL 25, the first thing I noticed is a couple games in, I'm like, damn. It's like I went from like throwing maybe one pick a game to throwing like three or four. Like my first couple games, like every fucking ball I threw was intercepted. So it seems like in this year's Madden, they definitely toned it down on that because I'm not throwing near as many picks. Now, part of that could be I'm just making smarter throws. But that's one thing that really stood out to me in Madden NFL 15, Madden 25 was how many freaking picks I was
Well,
throwing.
I think part of it is because in this new game you can lead receivers better and the passing system has more control.
Yeah, that could be it.
I've noticed with Manning that I'm just like, because Manning has like 95 up in all his accuracy stuff, it's just like anywhere I want to put the ball, it's there. You
Yeah, I play
know?
the Steelers, so I play as Ben Roethlisberger, who's not quite up to Manning, but he's up there. So yeah, I've been playing pretty well.
And
So
I got screwed by Colin Kaepernick when I was playing as the Niners because his accuracy isn't as high. So when I tried to lead a receiver, it went straight in the hands of the defender. So I like that too. That the accuracy. I talked about that earlier. Is the quarterback ratings actually matter a lot now? Like
oh, they
Brock.
really do. Yes, because I was playing through my season, and thankfully I was still able to power through. But it's like Ben Roethlisberger's out for 6 weeks with a broken collarbone. It's like way to ruin the season for me. It's like I'm playing the Steelers. I'm playing as Gronkowski. Freaking sucks. This dude's been in the NFL for years, and he sucks so
Yeah,
much.
man. Like as far as backups go, he's okay. I know, like Osweiler's all right. Like he has a really strong arm, and if you can develop him in franchise mode, you can get like a decent quarterback as your backup, and actually develop into something decent. But I don't know. I think that's pretty much all I have to say. I mean, I think it's a great game. It looks great. It plays great. If you're a football fan and you've been like waiting for when the next real jump in Madden is, I would definitely say this is it.
This is it. Even if you bought Madden NFL 25, definitely worth the purchase. Definitely. I mean, just the gameplay. It's like I said, it's probably the biggest step in Madden in a long, long time. So definitely worth the purchase. It's so good. I've been playing. Like I said, I've had the game for about a week, and I've almost completed an entire season already.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm just
I've had the game for the same amount of time you guys. I've done a season.
yeah.
So I just started my second season today. We had a really good draft. We got two 75s out of the draft, and drafting a Madden, that's pretty good. And then I had a decent free agency where Philip Rivers is my backup quarterback now.
What the fuck? How do you have Philip Rivers as your backup?
Because Peyton Manning's gonna retire next year probably. So it's
I
like
guess.
all right, well, I'm gonna have Rivers ride the bench for a season, and then boom, Manning, then he's on the scene when Manning retires. And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah, one last thing. I keep forgetting stuff. There's so much improvements in this game. Kicking. I love the new kicking meter now because that's one thing that's another thing I've had a problem with Madden is it's like somebody's like you could have Chris Prater and you'd be like, okay, this guy can kick a 55-yard field goal, no problem. Or you could have someone like Sean Sweezum from the Steelers who's all right, but 55-yarder, unless the wind's going 15 miles in the direction, you're not gonna make that kick. So what Madden adds now is it's a three-part meter where it shows you when you're kicked, there's the red, the yellow, the green. The green's most powerful, yellow's in the middle, red's terrible. So now on the meter, it shows you that if you were to hit the green, this is approximately where it'll hit. If you hit the yellow, this is where it'll approximately hit, and on the red, this is where it'll approximately hit. So it allows you to judge a lot better on field goals because that's one thing I've always had a problem with is like can my guy really make this 49, 50-yard field goal right here with these wind conditions? That's the thing. It also factors in the wind, and it moves according to how strong the wind is and what direction it is. So it really allows you to judge if you think that field goal is going to be something you can pull off. So definitely like the new kicking meter they've implemented as well.
Yeah, that was solid. I really liked it. Though in the past I really haven't had much issues because Matt Prater is my kicker.
Well, yeah, when you have Matt Prater is ridiculous. I mean, it's just like the guy from the Ravens. What's his name?
Tucker. Yeah.
Justin Tucker. What, he made like a 70-yard field goal in like practice, I heard last season. It's like before you know it, like these kickers, they're gonna run the ball to the 20 and they're gonna get 10, 15 yards and they'll be in a field goal. It's freaking ridiculous how good these kickers are getting. But yeah. So I think that pretty much wraps up everything for this spoiler cast. We had tons of spoilers, guys. Here's a spoiler. The team with the most points at the end of the game wins.
Here's a spoiler. It is football. God. The next one of these is probably be Walking Dead Season 2, because Anthony got a copy, and I have a copy, and they're about to finish that soon. So I'm going to, like Anthony has to do a review of Tales of Zillia, because we got to send a review copy. But after that, I'm going to, be like, you should finish Walking Dead already, so we can make content.
Yeah, we're definitely want to do more of these. It's just that it's been kind of slow with games. A couple games that we'll do is we'll definitely be doing Destiny. That's a given. We'll be doing one for Destiny. We'll be
Persona 4 Ultimax is a maybe. That one is a shot.
I want to try to do one with Sunset Overdrive. So Bronson, if you're able to get on that.
The Walking Dead Season 2, that'll be one for sure.
So Sunset Overdrive, Drive Club, I think will be another. It's just the hard thing with these games is like this, for example, we're getting this spoiler cast the day before the game comes out. It's very rare that we run into a circumstance where the company is able to send us multiple review copies, which thankfully EA was. They were able to hook Bronson and me up with review copies. So shout out to EA for that.
And not only that, but it's like two people have to finish a game, and like sometimes tastes don't overlap. Like I know John has Wolf Among Us, he just hasn't finished it yet. I would have done a spoiler cast for Wolf Among Us weeks ago, but I have no one to do it with. So
right. So so we will definitely don't expect those spoiler cast before release. We would love to do that. Trust me. If we could release a spoiler cast for every game before release, that'd be awesome. We'll try to do it whenever possible, but worst case, we'll try to release it within a week after its launch, depending on time and how big the game is and such like that. But we definitely want to do more of these because I understand, like, people like me, I don't read reviews. Like, I'll watch a video review or listen to someone talk about it. I won't read a review. So I completely understand that, and that's why we're creating this type of content for you guys. So let us know how you like it. Go pick up Madden if you're a football fan. Definitely worth it. Now, this is speaking on the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions. We can't really comment on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. I'm sure that as far as obviously the kicking and how the defense works, and I'm sure those improvements are there. You probably don't have all the visual enhancements and all that, and the new physics and all that. But so can't really comment on whether that's worth the new purchase. But if you have a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, definitely is worth the purchase. So yeah, after you listen and you pick up the game, let us know in the comment section what you think about the game, and let us know what you would like to see in the next Madden. And maybe I'll send it along to EA so they can kind of look around and see what people want, and who knows, maybe we could kind of inspire them to put something into the next Madden. So thank you guys for listening. Anything else you want to say, Bronson, before we close it out?
Great game. You guys should absolutely go buy it. And we'll be back with probably Walking Dead, depending on Anthony's schedule.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening. The football season is about to start. The regular season is about to start. Cannot wait.
Go Broncos.
Go Steelers. Our preseason's not been looking too great, but it's just the preseason, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. We are out.